Stage and components of project appraisal. Meaning of project. Project is a smallest operational element presented and implemented as a separate entity in a national plan or program. It is specific activity with a specific starting point and a specific ending point, intended to accomplish specific objectives. Usually, it is a unique activity. It will have a well-defined sequence of investment and production activities. A project starts from scratch with a definite mission. General activities involving variety of human and non-human resources, all directed towards fulfillment of the mission, and stops once the mission is fulfilled. A project appraisal is a formal document that outlines a project's objectives, scope, timeline, budget, and overall plan. It's typically created to convince stakeholders, clients, or decision makers to approve and support the project. The proposal outlines why the project is necessary, how it will be executed, and what resources are required. Project appraisal is the process of assessing, in a structured way, the case for proceeding with a project or proposal, or the project's viability. Analysis of project with a view to determine the overall feasibility and measures its investment worth, which provides a comprehensive review/assessment of all aspects of project that lays the foundation for implementation and evaluation when it is completed. Project appraisal means comparing or assessing the project's credibility and viability to know the authenticity of a project. The term project appraisal is majorly used in finance. It can also be called economic appraisal. Project appraisal also plays a significant role in entrepreneurship. Project appraisal is the process of assessing, in a structured way, the case for proceeding with a project or proposal, or the project's viability. It often involves comparing various options, using economic appraisal or some other decision analysis technique. It often involves comparing various options, using economic appraisal or some other decision analysis technique. Need of project appraisal. To identify the most effective and appropriate project or development work. To identify the employees to place right men on right job. To determine the priority of work, selection of best project, to maintain and assess the potential in a person for growth and development. To provide a feedback to employees regarding their performance and related status. To make plan or outline for effective functioning of work. When should a project appraisal be conducted? Before the project begins. Planning the path ahead. Keeping things on track. A mid-project reality check. Post-mortem. Before the project begins. The first and most important project appraisal usually takes place before the project starts. This is the feasibility appraisal, often done during the early planning stages. It is dreaming up the project, mapping out goals, and considering its potential impact. Why is this step crucial? It ensures that the project is worth pursuing in the first place. Think of it as a reality check. Will this project align with business goals? Are the resources available, and is the timeline feasible? By appraising the project up front, one can ensure it's viable and prevent investing time and money into something that might not work out. Planning the path ahead. As the project moves from idea to action, another project appraisal takes place during the planning phase. Now, you have a clear roadmap, objectives, budget, timeline, and the team that will bring it all to life. This is your chance to ensure everything aligns with the initial goals. Are they being realistic about what's possible within the set time frame and budget? Are there any risks that need to be addressed before proceed? This stage is about fine-tuning your plan, ensuring everything is in place before you jump into execution. Keeping things on track. Once the project is in motion, it's essential to appraise progress at key milestones or phases. Some things to consider: is the project on schedule? Are resources being used effectively? Are there any unexpected challenges? Conducting these appraisals at each milestone helps to identify issues early, and can pivot or adjust the plan before small problems become big obstacles. A mid-project reality check. Amid the action, mid-project appraisals come into play. These check-ins typically happen regularly, like every month or quarter, and allow you to take a step back and evaluate whether you're still on track. It's not just about whether the project is meeting its deadlines, but also whether the resources are being used efficiently. Is your budget being stretched too thin? Are team members feeling overworked? This is your opportunity to course-correct and ensure that you're still on the path to success. Post-mortem. Finally, when the dust settles and the project is complete, a post-project appraisal helps to reflect on what worked and what didn't. This assesses: did the project deliver the expected results? Was it worth the time and investment? And most importantly, what can be learned for future projects? It's the perfect time to review the successes, uncover lessons learned, and celebrate what went well. But it's also an opportunity to reflect on what could have been improved and use those insights to make next project even better. Types of project appraisals: financial project appraisal, economic project appraisal, strategic project appraisal, technical project appraisal, operational project appraisal, social project appraisal, legal and regulatory project appraisal, institutional/organizational, managerial. Financial project appraisal. A financial project appraisal focuses on the project's financial viability. It assesses whether the project will generate enough revenue to cover its costs and deliver a reasonable return on investment. This appraisal includes evaluating the initial costs, ongoing expenses, expected profits, and cash flow over the project's lifespan. The financial appraisal helps to determine the project is financially sustainable or not, and it will create value for investors or stakeholders or not. Assessment of incentives, provision of a sound financing plan. Coordination of financial contribution and assessment of financial management competence. Determine the requirements of funds/timing and the expected returns on sources of financial resources, short-term and long-term, sustainability of financial resources. Economic project appraisal. The economic project appraisal takes a broader view, looking beyond the project's financial return to evaluate its impact on the economy. This appraisal assesses the economic benefits the project will bring, such as job creation, stimulating local economies, or contributing to broader economic growth. Economic appraisals are particularly important for large-scale projects where public funds or resources are involved, ensuring that the project contributes positively to the overall economy. Examining alternative uses of resources, costs, benefits, and risks. Analysis, social cost-benefit analysis. This helps to search the impact on level of savings and investments at the individual level, impact on level of savings and investments in society, impact on fulfillment of national goals. Self-sufficiency, employment, and other economic effect. Strategic project appraisal. A strategic project appraisal focuses on how well the project aligns with the organization's long-term goals and strategic objectives. This type of appraisal helps stakeholders understand whether the project supports the company's mission, vision, and growth strategy. For example, it could assess whether the project will help the organization enter a new market, enhance its competitive advantage, or develop new capabilities. This appraisal is crucial for ensuring that projects drive the broader goals of the organization. Technical project appraisal. A technical project appraisal evaluates the technical feasibility of the project. It examines whether the project is technically possible, considering the tools, resources, and expertise needed to complete it successfully. This includes assessing the technology, materials, processes, and skills required. Technical appraisals help identify potential barriers such as lack of expertise, technology limitations, or logistical challenges that could hinder the project's success. It is the studies of availability of raw materials, power, and other inputs, optimal scale of operations, choice of suitable production process, choice of appropriate machines and equipment. Effluents and waste disposal, proper layout of plant and buildings, realistic work schedules, socially acceptable technology, etc. Operational project appraisal. An operational project appraisal assesses the project's practicality in terms of day-to-day operations. This appraisal focuses on whether the organization has the capacity, resources, and infrastructure to support the project's implementation and long-term operation. Key considerations include assessing whether the project fits into existing workflows, how it will affect current operations, and whether the necessary support systems are in place to sustain the project once it's completed. Social project appraisal. The social project appraisal examines the potential social impact of the project. This appraisal considers factors such as community well-being, quality of life, and social equality. It evaluates whether the project will improve social conditions for individuals or communities, whether it will address social issues, or whether it might lead to negative social consequences. This is especially important for projects that involve large-scale infrastructure, public policy, or community development. Legal and regulatory project appraisal. A legal and regulatory project appraisal assesses the project's compliance with laws, regulations, and industry standards. This appraisal ensures that the project adheres to local, national, and international legal frameworks, including environmental regulations, safety standards, and labor laws. It also considers potential legal risks, such as liability issues or intellectual property concerns, that might arise during the project's life cycle. By conducting thorough appraisals across these categories, project managers can improve the likelihood of a project's success and avoid costly mistakes. Institutional/organizational appraisal. Institutional appraisal is a systematic process of evaluating an institution's overall performance, focusing on its objectives, standards, outcomes, required infrastructure, institutional practices, and community impact. It is the appraisal of vision of institution, relationship within institutional structure, relationship among institutions, status of controlling mechanism, experiences of institutions for work. Past performance and track record. Managerial appraisal, gaining insightful feedback on a manager's performance to help both managers and companies to understand how to improve. It is discussion and acknowledges distinguished performance with rewards and benefits. It is helpful to understand managers' ability, professionals' conduct, efficiency of manager and managerial team, coordination situation, human resource management and availability, contact with staffs, operational framework of working team, etc. Project appraisal methods and techniques. Cost-benefit analysis, net present value, NPV, internal rate of return, payback period feasibility study SWOT analysis PESEL analysis balanced scorecard. Monte Carlo simulation. Cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis is a straightforward method that compares the total expected costs of a project with its potential benefits. This technique helps to determine whether the benefits of the project outweigh the costs and the project is financially worthwhile. It often involves assigning monetary values to tangible and intangible costs and benefits, helping decision-makers decide whether to proceed with the project. Feasibility study. A feasibility study is a comprehensive evaluation of a project's practicality and potential for success. It looks at various aspects such as technical feasibility, economic viability, operational capability, and legal requirements. By examining whether the project can be completed with the available resources and within the given constraints, a feasibility study helps decide whether the project should move forward. SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, is a strategic planning tool used to assess the internal and external factors affecting a project. It helps identify strengths that can be leveraged, weaknesses that need addressing, opportunities that could be exploited, and threats that could hinder the project's success. This analysis provides a balanced view of the project's potential and challenges. PESEL analysis. PESEL analysis, which stands for political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. It's a tool used to evaluate the external macro-environmental factors that could impact the project. By understanding how these factors may influence the project, stakeholders can anticipate potential risks and opportunities and adjust their strategy accordingly. Balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard is a strategic performance management tool that evaluates a project from 4 perspectives: financial perspective, customer perspective, internal business processes, and learning and growth perspective. This technique helps ensure that a project's goals are aligned with broader organizational objectives and provides a holistic view of its performance beyond just financial outcomes. Monte Carlo simulation. The Monte Carlo simulation is a statistical technique that assesses project risks and uncertainties. It uses random sampling and probabilistic models to simulate project outcomes based on varying conditions. This technique helps to predict the likelihood of certain risks occurring and provides insight into how they might impact the project, allowing project managers to plan for different scenarios. By applying these methods and techniques, project managers can make more informed decisions, reduce risks, and ensure that their projects are financially viable, strategically aligned, and set up for success. Advantages of project appraisal. Enhanced decision-making. The process of project appraisal provides stakeholders with the relevant information required to make informed decisions about investing in a particular project. With a comprehensive assessment of the project, stakeholders can determine whether the potential benefits of the project outweigh the potential risks and challenges. Risk mitigation. This helps to identify potential risks that may impact the success of the project. Once these risks are identified, project managers and stakeholders can develop strategies for mitigating them. By mitigating potential risks, the project becomes more resilient and has a better chance of succeeding and achieving its objectives. Efficient resource allocation. This helps to identify the resources required to complete the project successfully. This includes identifying the necessary budget, personnel, technology, and equipment. By understanding the resource requirements, project managers can allocate resources more efficiently, ensuring that the project is completed on time and within budget, without any time overrun. Stakeholder engagement. This involves consulting with stakeholders to gather their input and feedback on the proposed project. By engaging stakeholders in the project appraisal process, project managers can build a stronger relationship with them and ensure that their concerns and perspectives are duly considered. Improve project performance. By evaluating the potential of the project and identifying potential risks and challenges, project appraisal helps to ensure that the project is set up for achieving success. This can lead to improved project performance and a greater likelihood of achieving the project's objectives. Alignment with organizational goals. This helps to ensure that the project is aligned with the organization's goals and objectives. By evaluating the potential of the project and its impact on the organization, project managers can ensure that the project is worth investing in and will contribute to the organization's success and development. Steps of project appraisal. Step 1. Identification of the project. Step 2. Preliminary investigation. Step 3. Cost-benefit analysis. Step 4. Risk analysis. Step 5. Environmental impact assessment. Step 6. Social impact assessment. Step 7. Financial analysis. Step 8. Evaluation. Step 1. Identification of the project. This is the first step in the appraisal process, and involves identifying the project and defining its scope. This includes identifying the needs, goals, objectives, and expected outcomes of the project. Step 2. Preliminary investigation. This step involves conducting a preliminary investigation to determine the feasibility of the project. This includes assessing the market demand, potential profitability, availability of resources such as financing and personnel, etc. Step 3. Cost-benefit analysis. A cost-benefit analysis is a method of evaluating the costs and benefits associated with a project. It involves estimating the costs of the project, including capital costs, operating costs, and maintenance costs, and comparing these to the expected benefits of the project, such as increased revenue or improved efficiency. Step 4. Risk analysis. This step involves assessing the risks associated with the project, including external risks such as market conditions and internal risks such as project management issues. Risk analysis helps identify potential challenges and develop strategies to mitigate them. Step 5. Environmental impact assessment. An environmental impact assessment, EIA, is a process used to evaluate the potential environmental impacts of a project. This includes assessing the impact on air, water, and soil quality, as well as the impact on flora and fauna. The results of the EIA help determine whether the project is environmentally sustainable and whether any mitigation measures are needed. Step 6. Social impact assessment. A social impact assessment, SIA, is a process used to evaluate the potential social impacts of a project. This includes assessing the impact on local communities, including employment opportunities, social structures, and cultural heritage. The results of the SIA help determine whether the project is socially sustainable and whether any mitigation measures are needed. Step 7. Financial analysis. This step involves analyzing the financial viability of the project. This includes assessing the projected revenue and cash flow, as well as the expected return on investment. Step 8. Evaluation. The final step in the appraisal process is evaluation. This involves reviewing the results of the previous steps and making a decision on whether to proceed with the project. The evaluation should take into account the project's feasibility, profitability, sustainability, and potential risks and challenges. Limitations of project appraisal. Quality of project analysis depends on the quality of data and forecast made about costs and benefits. Overestimation of benefits and underestimation of costs is quite common to get the project approved. In view of the uncertainty about the future, it is impossible to quantify completely the risks. It is useful only where benefits can be quantified. Project analysis is useful when there is a definite starting and finishing points. Political influences and wrong appraisal may be prepared.